Oh crap! Did I put in the wrong one? Shoot.
My fault. I asked you to do this last minute. Which, speaking of, did you post it? Yep. All
Uh,
right. Just wanted to make sure that it was in
I
Red Hand.
no, I didn't put. I haven't posted in Red Hand. So I sent
No, it was
LPK. I sent Trip
well. The bot got it at
DMs.
least. Our bot got it and posted in the White Cloaks forum
Oh,
chat.
okay. Yeah, I haven't been on the server in a while. I'm sure you guys are still talking about lots of stuff. How's the politics section going? I'm sure because of
We're supposed
certain
to stay
thing that
away from
happened
that.
last weekend. Yeah, I'm sure certain thing happened last week. I'm sure you guys were all talking about that.
Yep. Trip
Dude, I was just like, whoa.
Trip
I'm
decided that she had to shut it off.
wow. Yeah. Yeah, I was doing some additional door dashing when I heard the news, and I was just like, I actually stopped what I was doing. I finished the delivery, and I was just like, I just started like listening to the news and all that stuff, and I was just like, whoa, man. So yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty
yeah.
wild.
I mean, you're a little bit younger than me. I mean, this is the first time something like that happened in our lifetime to a president, so or former
Yeah,
president or whatever.
yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
used to hear
Um,
stories all the time from my parents about, oh, it was awful when, thing that happened with JFK and all that happened. So, yeah. And we lost Pips. So, what's up, guys? If you guys are here, if anybody's here, I don't know if anybody's watching right now. I got 4 people on X, which means they're bots watching watching right now.
the
So,
bots are watching.
so
Perfect.
it's just us. So it's just us.
Hey, you know
So,
what? That's totally good. You invited me. I wasn't sure what my schedule my last couple days here, but I'm leaving the country again. So thanks for the invite, man. It's good. I think we talked about this backstage, but finishing off, I think the last of the I think I had was it 5 or 6 different bottles? I think 6 different bottles that I got for that tasting that we did.
yeah.
Um, and this is the last one that still had any left in it. And I just here let's make sure that all of the drops. Let's make sure all of the drops are out. There we go. There we go. And you guys can see that's a healthy pour there. So I'm
I forget.
celebrating
Is it
properly.
Scotch? I forget. You're drinking Scotch, right? The Red Breast.
No, this
That's
is Irish. This is Irish whiskey. Yeah,
I
Red
forget. Like I
Breast.
forget what's the
Red Breast 12.
I forget what's the difference. Like Irish. I know. Bourbon has corn. Scotch has.
I mean,
Forgot what Scotch
okay.
has in there.
The broad picture is that the key difference is the region that it's made from.
Yeah. Okay.
So bourbon has to be made in the United States. Irish whiskey and Scotch obviously have to be made in Ireland and Scotland. The rules about it are different. So Scotland has to be, I think, distilled and aged. I believe at least 3 years. It might be
Mm-hmm.
2 years. Has to be aged in Scotland. After
Mm-hmm.
that, the barrels can be moved. So you can. There are places who make Scotch like in Asia and stuff like that. They take barrels, they aged a couple years in Scotland, and
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know, they ship them or something. I'm
Yeah.
not really sure, but there are other places that do sell Scotch, and then obviously blended Scotches
Yeah.
make it around the world as well. Um, and then the different types of whiskeys also have requirements in addition to that. So, like you said, bourbon has to be at least 51% corn. It has to be made in new charred oak. So the barrels cannot have been used for another spirit before.
Mm-hmm.
So the U.S. barrel industry for whiskey and bourbons actually provides a large share of the barrels for like the entire international spirits industry
Yeah.
because bourbon has to be new barrels.
Mm-hmm.
Most other spirits don't have to be new barrels, so most of them use barrels that are bourbon seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you have wine barrels and stuff like that that are often used in finishing certain types of whiskeys as well. But
Oh, okay.
there you go.
So Irish whiskey is what the same thing has to be made in Ireland or in.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not a huge follower of Irish whiskey. Redbreast is probably the only one that. Well, I've had Green Spot before as well. That was
Yeah.
decent as well. I'm just not a huge fan of Irish whiskey. It's not like my thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Redbreast is very good. It's just not the one that I'm going to go to. So I don't know the rules I would imagine that similar to Scotch, it has to be made in Ireland, and then there's probably some other rules.
I do have a question for you. When did you first have when did you first develop a liking for whiskey? Was it in college or something? Was it before
Um,
friend get you into it, or did you discover it on your own? Curious.
This is an interesting question.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a little too
I
personal,
would
then that's
say
fine. I mean,
no. I mean, I don't have like a singular memory, right? Like everyone, people go to college, they drink, whatever, right? It
oh yeah, I
happens.
remember you telling me
Um,
that, but that has nothing to do with you. I
but
thought I thought the only thing that you had, like, you just couldn't remember what people looked like, or remember like people's faces or something like that. So luckily, you don't remember my face like that. So
I, I just meant like there's not like a light bulb moment where I can be like, this is the day that I decided that I liked whiskey. Um, but I can remember, sometime shortly after college, you know, I was already like the guy who, had like an 18-year-old scotch on my shelf instead of, what a lot of other people would drink. Um, so, I think fairly early on, and I would say it's probably my dad's fault. My dad actually introduced me to Redbreast, but he also introduced me to Scotch.
mhm.
Um, and so I'd say I probably got my appreciation for wine from my mother and whiskey from my father. So I came by it naturally, my alcoholism.
Yeah, we never had we never had drinks. So like
Mm.
I never really got into. My dad didn't drink. I think he drank a long time ago, back in the '70s, and then I think my mother couldn't drink for health reasons, so my dad didn't drink. So that's why we never had any stuff in the house. Cause I mean, yeah, we got my folks' cousins, drink and all that. So, but yeah, I was kind of spared that. I didn't really have beer or hard liquor, believe it or not, until I was like 18 or something. Or I think first time I had hard liquor was, believe it or not, I went for a campus visit to Bradley University, and I was paired up with a couple of fraternity bros, and yeah, I went to the fraternity house. Back in that time, everybody smoked everywhere, so the fraternity house was full of smoke, and I got sick. But they gave me like all this different liquor. They gave me all this different liquor. I don't think I drank enough of it, but I think I think that's where I first had it and everything. So yeah, but I don't know, like going forward into college, never really got into alcohol personally. But I always thought whiskey was a more chill drink, and I would order it whenever I'd hang out with fraternity brothers or something like that. So yeah, it would be a chill drink because everybody was so obsessed with taking shots. You have all these Irish car bombs going around. You have all these uh, taking like everybody's drinking like crappy vodka or something. So yeah, just yeah. I used to be cheered. I used to be cheered to drink in front of. I remember there was a big party going on, and I was one of the awkward nerdy guys, and everybody just started cheering my name to get me to drink, to get me to drink from out of like one of those beer bongs and all that, and I'm just like, oh no, why is everybody cheering me on? So but yeah, that's kind of why I've never really gotten into drinking per se. So yeah, you bastard, you got me. You brought a bad
Well,
habit
okay,
into my life. How dare
okay,
you? How dare you?
okay. Now I have confessed to being a bad influence, so you're not going to shame me. I accept this about myself. Two,
You can join us if you
sorry
want
if I
to,
was.
Gadfly. You can. Sorry to interrupt
I
you.
was. No, no.
I said there's a
I
link.
was I was heads down there, but I did I retweeted the stream and I shared it again on Red Hands. So hopefully we'll have some more people join. And Gadfly, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm a bad influence. I accept that. I embrace that actually, and it's I mean, I'll put it this way. I forget the person who said this, but I think it's a good quote, which is that I could never trust a man who doesn't have any vices because he doesn't trust himself. So
Where have I heard? I've heard that before. Where have I heard that before? I don't know.
I mean,
I've heard maybe it's
the quote might actually be more specific, and it's I could never trust somebody who doesn't drink because that's a man who doesn't trust himself. But I like to expand it to doesn't have any vices, because we live in a day and age where some people like to imbibe through other mediums. They like to maybe they smoke some stuff.
Yeah.
There's different strokes for different folks, and while alcohol is the tastiest of them, and
What you talking about, Pips?
you should do it if you're of age. It makes you definitely cooler, and yes, peer pressure.
What's up, Robert
Hey,
Moore? How you
Robert,
doing? And then we got DJ Ronnie G. What's up? Yeah, DJ Ronnie G's robot. Basically just kind of hacked into my last week's stream, and it was like I was like, for a second I thought, I was like, is this Doomcock? Why would Doomcock be at? Where's Doom? How did Doomcock get here or something? It was something like that, something crazy like puppetry, or I don't know if it's a puppet or if it's like a mask or something. I don't know. I don't know how he created the effect, but he created the effect. I was just like, whoa.
So. Hey, Miss Martin is with us.
How are you, Teresa?
Which reminds me, I did not get to be on the last House of the Dragon stream. I did watch the episode, and
it was great, wasn't it? It was just fantastic. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. I mean, last week I was just like, do I even want to keep doing this? I was bored out of my freaking mind last week. Like they had a chance. He's like, hey, buddy, Blackwood, dude. If you don't bend the knee, I'm gonna burn you, bro. And he doesn't burn him. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, heck, even at least Game of Thrones, at least Daenerys did something. She burned Randall Tarly and the son. For some reason, was aged up. Oh, was it a Great Hunt?
Yep. I'm actually, so I've bought all of the ones that have come out so far, to include as many of the alternate covers as I can get my hands on, because I'm gonna do I'm gonna do some videos, potentially a stream. It might be a stream where maybe I get somebody else on. There's someone else in the Discord, at least one of the person who's gotten the graphic novels as well. So I might do a stream with them where we talk about the graphic novels, and I'll just show images from them and kind of go through it.
I'll say one thing about the.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Finish your thought, bro.
No. So I'll probably do a stream where we talk through them and we look through the art and we look through the storytelling and all that kind of stuff. I'll give a brief spoiler, which is that a lot of the artistic decisions are not true to the books.
No, they're not.
However, I think the artwork is generally well done and good. There's good detail. There's generally good art, and I'm willing to forgive the artist sort of owning it themselves and saying, hey, this is how I'm telling the story. I get that, like, Robert Jordan really, I just flipped back through New Spring earlier, and Robert Jordan had Moraine had like 7 different dresses over the course of the graphic novel just for the one book, because Robert Jordan's thing was clothing, especially for women. He had a thing for it. Just deal with it. Fully
bosomed. I'll be honest. Ever since I started reading, ever since I'll say this about Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan. I've been saying that quite a bit myself. Like, fully nice book. It's like nice books.
There you go.
But
anyway,
yeah.
I didn't like the thought.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that.
Got a long thought.
That's really difficult to do for a graphic novel, where you tend to see graphic novels where they kind of they have a look for a character, and maybe they tear it up a little bit, but like Superman didn't have an outfit change every single time, so I get some of those changes. I'm not a huge stickler for it. My question is,
I'm not sure why they.
the artist invested in the work? Is the artist trying to tell a good story, and is it coming across well? And is the story and the characters true to the story and the characters? So we'll talk about that on the stream, and there'll probably be a giveaway where I'll probably give some of these alternate covers away to some of our subscribers or people who are watching the channel. One of the alternate covers I'm going to give away to somebody as a punishment. Well, potentially as a punishment. Let me see if I can show this one here.
And
it's got my
while you're
name
doing
on it.
that, I'm going to say hello to Whisker Fisherman TV. What's going on? Thanks for being here. And we got Salty. He says Pips looks like the lead singer of Frankie Goes to Hollywood Tonight. I don't think I've seen that.
Here is one of the alternate covers that's going to be given away to someone watching the stream at some point in the future. Mainly because I think that this is going to enrage some of our followers. But hey, it's going to be good. Here you go, right there.
Wow, wow.
I will put a sticker potentially. I'll include a sticker with the ones that I give away to cover up the now a Prime Video thing. Nas, how's it going?
So yeah, what happened? I thought what happened to the beard? What happened to the beard and the stash and all that?
Oh, every time I'm home, I periodically have to shave to go into work and do my reserve stuff. I'm still an officer in the Marine Corps Reserve. So.
Oh yeah, how's that going? I know you say you've been flying. Like, do you like basically work when you're not like out of time, when you're not like on vacation or something? You just keep working because inflation, money.
I mean, so yeah, more or less. Like, so my actual job is the one that I do, that I go away from home for a couple months at a time, unfortunately. But it pays reasonably well, and you got to put bread on the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have the reserve job, and so when I'm home, I'll go do my drill with the Marine Reserves. I'll go, which is flying helicopters. Makes a little money on the side, keeps me current, proficient, all that kind of stuff. I get to hang out with Marines, which is like the best part of the job, hanging out with Marines. But yeah, and thanks Nas for the congrats on the kid. He is 6 months old and is a giant baby. He's
how much does he weigh?
Toying with the idea of crawling. He's probably like 29 pounds right now, I think.
Oh wow.
He's doing all of the crawling precursors, but hasn't quite done it.
So who does he look more like, you or the wife?
I don't know. He's very cute, but I'm not sure that he looks a lot like either of us, which is a little strange. I think he's got my ears, which is a weird thing to say. I don't know if most people like know what their ears look like, but I have like a little notch on my ear, and he's got a notch on his ear. He's got my wife's nose. I think babies' noses are often kind of squished. They over their first year of life they kind of develop. And I don't think we thought he might have my eyes. But I think his eyes are going to be gray where mine are green.
I thought your eyes were brown. I remember hanging out with you. I thought your eyes were brown.
Well, technically, I have hazel eyes. You would know that if you looked into my eyes.
I did look into your eyes several times. I thought they were brown.
Can't you see the hazel eyes?
No.
They're green. They're green and brown. So
I wonder if my eyes
brown in the middle. And they look like they're gray on the outside, whereas mine are brown and green on the outside.
Yeah, ever since I started reading, Wheel of Time, Rand's eyes are gray and all that. I'm wondering if my eyes.
Tall and he's got gray eyes. He's the Dragon Reborn.
I'm wondering if
the Pips Reborn.
So I always thought my eyes were blue, but I'm wondering if my eyes are actually gray, because gray is like blue, is like a different shade of blue according to what I've been reading. Everything, they're not actually gray. So yeah, so I don't know.
I am not artistically gifted well enough to pontificate on the color palette.
Whatever. So
By the way, I don't think I said hi to Salty. I saw that he was in the chat. You greeted him. I don't think I did. Salty, good to well, not see you, chat with you again. Sorry to have missed the House of the Dragon stream and the pain that you guys probably all
oh
suffered
no,
together.
believe me, you didn't miss
Was Salty on the
anything.
last one? I didn't get to watch the stream because I just watched
Oh
the
yes,
show last night.
me, Salty, Teresa, and
Okay.
and Steve. So yeah.
Teresa is a regular on the streams now, huh? She's inflicting it upon herself.
More or less. She one day messaged me. She said, "Hey, wanna come on?" I was like, done. So, but yeah, she really knows. She knows the lore really well. I don't know the lore. I don't know the lore that well, especially because I haven't read Fire and Blood. I've read World of Ice and Fire a long time ago, but that's basically it. I don't know much about the Dance of the Dragons. I just know that they all die, and they're all horrible to each other, and there's really no redeemable character. And I mean, let's just say Rhaenyra's younger son has to witness something awful, probably in a season or two. So,
is it true that they are making the egg, the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms story
that's
as well?
next year.
Dunk?
That's next year.
Okay,
That's the next Game of Thrones.
I just want to throw this out there. House of the Dragons has been very disappointing season 2. Season 1 looked promising and sort of petered off towards disappointing.
Yeah, you didn't. I know you didn't like it.
But to the extent that I believe in the Game of Thrones universe, Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is a relatively tight linear story or series of stories, right?
Yeah.
And it has good characters that you actually root for and like are good people. I cautiously optimistic if they can take the decent sort of production quality and then tell a tight linear story with characters that like, hey, the good guy, which this show is missing. It's missing anyone that you actually like, or even there's not even like a Tyrion character where it's somebody who's bad but that you like. There's just everybody sucks and they're all stupid and bad and terrible.
I don't consider Tyrion. I don't consider Tyrion bad. Wow.
But he's meant to be. He's on the bad team, and then over time you realize he's not a bad guy, and you know you get what I mean. Like he's early on he's a bad guy, and then you kind of get to know him, right? There's nothing like that. There's no anti-hero, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm curious how this is going to work because, well, it's going to go through the same bullshit that Game of Thrones went through. It's unfinished. It's supposed to be, according to what I've learned over the years, I don't remember now, but I think there's supposed to be 12 short stories, and it's supposed to end, and it's literally supposed to end, and it's not going to end well. Like it, and it's like I think the final chapter, maybe it's going to be revealed in Song of Ice and Fire. I don't know, but grows up, he becomes.
You think they're going to do what is it, the fire at Summerhall or something like that?
Yeah, well, that I think is going to be the conclusion to that series, or it's going to be revealed in Song of Ice and Fire in some form, because
they just tell a positive story.
I mean, I'm curious. Like, I'm curious why. I'm curious if the reason that happened in Summerhall was because of the whole thing that House of the Dragon revealed that the Targaryens knew about the Song of Ice and Fire and all that. So, which I'm assuming was meant to be revealed in the Winds of Winter. So I think you said a couple weeks ago that I didn't even know you read the series. I asked you when we were hanging out, and you said you didn't read the series. So did you read it recently?
I don't remember you asking me that. Maybe
you told me you didn't read. You haven't read them. I've asked you.
Maybe I misheard you. I never read the House of the Dragons books. I read all of A Song of Ice and Fire up to years ago, right? Like when season 1 of Game of Thrones came out, I had already read up to, was it Clash of Crows that was out at that point? I don't remember exactly how far it was, but I was up to the most Feast for Crows. Thank you. I was up to the most recent book when
Yeah, Dance with
the
Dragons
show
didn't come
was
out till
coming
after the show, till season 1 ended.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So I had read the books. I must have either thought you were asking about the House of the Dragon, so Fire and Blood book, or I just didn't hear you, or I don't know, miscommunication on that front because I read the series back in I don't know 2008, nine, something like that.
leave it to Pips to change his. I'm kidding. I'm sure there was a miscommunication.
Hey,
I'm taking your word. I'm
hey,
taking your word for it.
if a politician can change their mind about things, I
Hey,
can
you're
reinvent
active on
my
that
history.
politics. You're active on that politics channel. You know quite a bit about the game, and
Don't hate the player. Don't hate the player. Hate the
hey,
game.
you're playing the game, and there's no reason to hate it. It's just there. But yeah, Dan Crane. What's up, Dan Crane? Cobra Kai season 6. Oh yeah, that dropped today. I was watching a little bit of that before.
Okay.
What?
Did I miss a season, or was season 5 the one where the like hedge fund dude from Karate Kid 3?
Yeah, Terry
Karate
Silver.
Kid 2 came back? Terry Silver. Was that season 5, or did I miss a season? Was that
He
season
came back in season 4, and he was like the big bad in season 5. So there's like this big epic final battle. You know, the battle of Cobra Kai dojo. Everybody was involved. It was a big deal.
The 30 preteens fighting. Yeah, okay.
30 preteens fighting. But yeah, the last season was like every beef that's been going around since like season 1 kind of concluded. The only beef that's left is between Kreese and Johnny and Daniel, basically. So so this I knew right away there's only going to be one more season.
So I'm up to date, but I need to watch season 6 that apparently just dropped. So Dan,
part of it.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, so they're splitting into 3 parts. So we get in this one, and I think they're releasing another set in October, and then they're releasing the final 5 episodes in sometime next year, sometime in 2025. So yeah, it's gonna be a 15 episode season. So yeah, I mean, I didn't think I'd ever like Cobra Kai. Like, I remember when season 1 came out, I was just curious about it. I was like, I couldn't sleep one night. This was 2018. I turned it on, I'm watching it, and I just binged the whole season within like 3 to 4 hours because episodes are like 20 to 30 minutes, I think. So yeah, I watched the entire season, was totally sold on Johnny's arc and all that. So yeah, Cobra Kai's been one of the shows that I really enjoyed, and this show is coming to an end. Stranger Things is coming to an end. I don't know what's good out there, Pips. You watch way more TV shows than I do. What's good out there? I know I watched the first season of The Bear, and I'm too scared to watch season 2 because of the whole season 2 always is a big down. There's always big downside compared to its first season. I loved how season 1 ended. I don't even know if I want to watch season 2 at this point.
So what I'm going to say about season 2, they went in. There was like a celebrity cameo episode that like was a family dinner back in the day that everyone was so impressed. It was height of drama, all this stuff, and I thought it was just kind of boring. Like, it was like okay character work, I guess, but it was just kind of boring. I liked the development of the cousin. I disliked the development of Bear himself.
That's not good.
Mainly because, and I'm sure you're gonna be shocked about this, they start pushing into a track where his sous chef is much more talented and focused and hardworking, and he's screwed up and has all these problems, and she's really carrying him and all this kind of stuff. So I will admit that like a little bit of this is what's on the screen. A little bit of it is I've seen the story before, reading the tea leaves a bit. So I haven't seen season 3, but I will say that season 2 was, as is normal with season 2, was trending down. But season 3, I've heard mixed things about. I'll probably watch, and we'll see.
You haven't watched it yet. I've heard I heard it's even worse than season 2. So, but yeah, Staple Bow, what's up, man? How you doing? Vinland Saga.
I'm familiar. I haven't seen it. It's anime portrayal of not necessarily Lord of the Rings exactly, but like very
no, it's Viking.
Lord
It's
of the
it's Vikings. It's
right?
Eric. I think it's Leif Erikson, and yeah, it's
that
a historical.
sense.
It's a historical epic. So like
that makes way more sense with the name.
Yeah, because I believe it takes the beginning of it takes place in Greenland. Kids, it's basically another revenge type of tale, you know. Kid's father gets killed, and he wants revenge.
I have a book of Icelandic sagas from a long time ago that I really enjoyed. So,
okay, what stories? Tell us about it.
I mean, so those books tend to have lots of different kind of stories in them, but the biggest one that I remember was Njal Saga, and I'm probably butchering that, but it's NJALS. Just doing a quick Google to back my reading up, but I have
Gadfly's got you covered right here.
There you go.
I've never heard of these.
It's certainly the Icelandic saga, but it's the book I have also has some of the other sagas, and they're just good old fashioned awesome Viking stuff. I mean, there's crazy stories about like a single dude on a rooftop just slaying dudes, like 75 guys with just his bow. There's a guy who in the middle of an ice hockey game just hey, like early ice hockey, probably not real hockey, but some similar-ish sport. Yeah. Somebody does something and he just picks up his axe and cuts the dude like clean in half, just like So there's some good stuff. Gadfly is just like Njal Saga.
Yeah. I mean,
freaking you casual over there reading Icelandic sagas, like you think you know shit, and you're reading the most basic entry level one, you pleb. Love you, Gadfly. Don't.
I'll have to check those out. I wonder if there's like a collection of them out. You said you have a collection. I'll have to see if I can. I wonder if they have like a Kindle version or something.
I'm sure there's an anthology. My book, I think I have 2 short anthologies, and yeah. I mean, I'm sure you can find tons of anthologies on Icelandic and Viking or Norse sagas, and
yeah, I'm actually I was actually recommended a book by a buddy of mine. It's like a fantasy horror, dark fantasy, I guess you could say. Historical too, supernatural. It's called Between Two Fires, and it's okay.
Between Two Ferns.
It's called Between Two Fires. How dare you? It's basically it's not Robert Jordan. I'll say that. I could say that right away. It's basically God turns his back on humanity because of how bad the Dark Ages is. The Black Death hits. So I think the book takes place in like 1348, I think, and there's a war between fallen angels and the angels of God or something. And because of that, the earth is a battlefield. And so because of that, the earth is full of these supernatural creatures that are basically slaying, killing people, that there's a plague going on. And we have the main character is this disgraced knight, and he has to take a girl. We don't know the girl's name. I'm only about a quarter of the way through. He has to take her to Avignon. So this takes place in France, and he has to take her to Avignon to go to a shrine to pray. She can talk to angels or something like that. So yeah, so I'm at the point he slayed a river monster, and and now he's jousting for his life by these evil. I don't know how to describe it, but it's supposed to be a horror, I guess you could say, but it's okay. I don't know if it'd be something you'd like, but that's kind of what I'm reading. One of my friends got me got me to read it. So I'm reading it. I'm going to read that, and I'm probably going to read Lord of Chaos right after that. So
Cool. Lord of Chaos, great
yeah.
book. The ending of Lord of Chaos is, I mean, so epic, so good.
I'm just worried you guys are overselling it to me, so I'm gonna be just yeah.
Lord of Chaos is shit. You're gonna hate it. All right.
Well, I've
So-
listened about to the halfway point. I don't remember everything because when I'm with audiobooks, I don't remember this. I don't retain a lot of the details as much. But like I got to,
my wife's the same way.
Nynaeve, basically, I know Nynaeve heals the stilling and the gentling.
Whoa, spoilers
I know.
for people in the chat.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't care.
What else? So Rand, there was a good one. Rand finds out who his mother is. So I thought that was a good, very poignant moment.
Yep.
There was there was a nice little, it was a Pedro Nile chapter where he's talking to an assassin. He's like, "Hey, we gotta kill this guy," and all that. So, and then I actually got to the part where the thing happens. He's like, "Hey, Pedro Nile, if you come here, I'm going to hang your ass too," and all that. So, and then there was creepy. What's weird is maybe the show ruined this for me, but the Aes Sedai just come off as creepers. Like Alana just bonds ran to her. And I was just like, I'm like, what is this? I'd be like,
yep.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I forget what
things that won't be things that won't be in the show for sure. Yeah.
The prologues, the prologues I don't like nearly as much as the early books. Like the first 3 had really excellent prologues that really got me excited to read the books. These prologues just don't seem to be, they just seem to be, oh, hey, this is what this person's doing, this is what that person's doing, this is what this person's doing, this is what that person's doing. And yeah. I mean, I love I first loved the first part with Demandred. I thought that was awesome.
Oh, yeah, it's great. All right, so since we're talking about reading lists, I'm simultaneously reading 2 of these. 2 are on deck, and then I have 3 audiobooks that I'm going through right now.
What are you listening to?
I'm listening to, I just finished Hyperion. That was Techmex, Technically Mexican, recommended that to me. We might do a stream doing a little book club.
Talk to DJ Ronnie G. He's a big fan too.
And that was, I'd never even heard of the series. It was amazing.
It's basically Canterbury Tales in Space, I believe, if I remember correctly.
I want to absolutely murder the author in the feels that he inflicted upon me. I'm sitting there like, holding my son and listening to the story of the father who has to watch his daughter age backwards. And I mean, just devastating, absolutely heartbreaking. So just finished that. I'm embarking on Malazan.
You got that book. I got both those books, actually.
I'm also listening to, it just came out this month, The Singularity is Nearer by Ray Kurzweil, who previously wrote The Singularity is Near. It's a book about AI and technological development. Great book so far. His previous one really. Does it
fall really under cyberpunk by any chance?
No, this is a nonfiction.
It's nonfiction. Okay.
Yeah, and then the 2 books that I'm reading also nonfiction. So I'm reading The Catholic Religion, which is actually it's about Anglicanism, because Anglican Catholicism versus Roman Catholicism is what I ascribe to.
How different? I mean, how different is Anglican versus Catholicism? I mean, obviously, you have the Pope. You have the Pope element. I mean, Anglican Church doesn't report to the Pope.
Very liberal and leftist in both theology and politics. I'm in a more traditional church, and traditional Anglican is, very similar to traditional Lutheran or some of the traditional Catholic sects, but not to
I remember
religious conversation.
It's a member stream. Who cares?
Yeah.
We can talk
Well, let me
whatever.
finish
We
the
can
books
talk
I'm
what
reading
we
then
could
before
talk
you-
whatever
before
you
you-
want.
Then let me finish the books I'm reading, and then you can ask me questions. I'm also rereading Locke's Second Treatise of Government, and then these are the two
What's
books
that
that I have
about?
on deck here.
What's that?
So-
What was the last one about?
Oh, Locke's Second Treatise of Government. That one.
Yeah.
Oh, basically about natural law, inalienable rights, the dignity of personhood, the basis of Western civilization, functionally.
Okay.
And then, like I said, so the future once happened here, and micromotives and macro behavior. Both of these got recommended by the Glenn Lowry and John McWhorter podcast. If any of you guys watch them, so yeah, this is my stack of books, and then I have a series of audiobooks that I'm going through as well. But
Nice.
that's what's up.
Hmm.
And yes, David Bowie, John Locke. Published in 17 something originally, 17 like 50-ish. Well, he died in 1704, so I'm gonna say it's probably published like late 1600s. I was off.
So you said I always thought Anglican was more Catholic than Lutheran, to be honest. I mean, I know Anglican's supposed to be, but it was part of. I mean, I guess you could say it was part of the Reformation. I mean, it was just because what's his name, Henry VIII wanted to get a divorce, Catherine of Aragon, if I remember. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
How did I learn about it? There was a movie on Channel 11, WTTW, called Anne of 1,000 Days, I believe.
You watched
Anne Boleyn.
the show Tudors.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, that's
no. There was a
girl who plays Marjorie Tyrell has her top off. So
Oh, keep that in mind. Fully bosomed. Drink to that.
Yeah, stable bow, 1690. Like I said, he died in 1704, so late 1600s. I was off when I said 1750-ish. But yeah, so the long and short is that Anglicanism historically was essentially what many people who call themselves Catholic Reformed and traditional Lutheran would be in the similar thing, where they initially didn't envision themselves as starting a new church. They said, hey, we're still Catholic. We're just going to roll back some of these things that you guys have adopted in the last several hundred years that we don't think are actually Catholic. We think that those are errors in theology and doctrine, and we're going to stop doing those.
I forget what was the big
modern Anglicanism. I think Gadfly Fiction is correct. Modern Anglicanism is basically Protestant with Catholic, liturgy sort of practices. I am not any longer a modern Anglican, also known as an Episcopal in the U.S. I was confirmed as an Episcopal years ago.
What's the difference? So what's the difference? There's Episcopalian, there's Anglican.
This is why I didn't necessarily want to
Methodist.
Get into this. It's a very complicated thing, just because the word Anglican means a lot of different things to different people. So there's Anglican, which is the overall communion of the Church of England, headed by the Archbishop of Canterbury, almost as the Pope, but with less power within the Anglican Church than the Pope is described, because part of the whole Anglican tradition is that we rejected the idea that the Bishop of Rome had any special position or privilege, just like the Orthodox rejected the idea that the Bishop of Rome had any special position or privilege, and that all of the bishops are equal in sort of honor and position. So he administratively runs the Anglican Confession and Church, but is not a king like the Pope is. But anyway, so you have the Anglican Communion, and then you have the Anglican Church, which is the title used by most churches they're organized national. So there's the Anglican Church of the U.S., which is called the Episcopal Church. After the Revolutionary War, they decided to not call themselves Anglican anymore, so they called themselves Episcopal. Mm-hmm. And then there's Anglican churches in lots of different countries, and they all are part of the International Communion. And then within the U.S., there are churches who call themselves Anglican as a way to signify that they have broken from the Episcopal Church due to the Episcopal Church liberalizing its theology and doctrine over the years,
More
and have
inclusive.
aligned themselves they've aligned themselves generally with the sort of global South Anglican communion churches. So your South America, Africa churches that are theologically and doctrinally much more conservative than the Church of England and the Anglican Church in Europe and the United States. There's a lot of politics involved. The Church of England and the Anglican Church in the U.S., aka the Episcopal Church, are very likely to get kicked out of the Anglican Communion by the International Anglican Body at the next international conference, because they have continuously turned away from the traditional doctrine and theology of Catholicism, and rejected a lot of those things in favor of progressivism, essentially. But there you go. There's your 5 minutes of what Anglican means. This book, The Catholic Religion, is a book that is about traditional Anglicanism. It was written in the 1680s or something like that.
If I remember correctly, Catholic basically means encompassing all churches. If I understand correctly.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Catholic basically means to encompass all the churches everywhere. Catholic, universal.
Yes, it means
that's
universal.
the meaning of the word Catholic.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious if that's why the book is called The Catholic Doctrine.
Yes and no. So it is Catholic because, per the Nicene Creed, which any Christian should be a person who can profess the Nicene Creed. And
I still have it. We said that in the Orthodox. We said that every week in Orthodox Church. I have it freaking memorized to this day. I haven't stepped foot in Orthodox Church in a long time.
And the Orthodox Church, I would imagine, it said Holy Catholic and Apostolic, right?
Yeah, and then I know the Apostles' Creed. When I went to Lutheran school, so here's the funny thing: we attended an Orthodox church on Sundays, but actually at the same time, when I was in grade school, I went to a Lutheran grade school. So I had to learn the Lutheran Catechism. I had to learn the Apostles' Creed. The Apostles' Creed was, I believe in one holy, or I believe in the Christian Church, the Communion of Saints. The Holy Spirit part of the creed was much shorter than the Nicene version, and then the Son of God version was even shorter than the Apostles' Creed, than the Nicene Creed version. In the Nicene Creed, it says who proceeds from the Father, and the Apostles' Creed, it says who proceeds from the Father and the Son. Basically, the Holy Spirit. I think it's the Holy Spirit. I believe in the Holy Spirit.
Yep. Yeah.
Lord, the giver of life, who proceed from the Father, who with the Father and the Son together is worshipped and glorified. Yeah.
So what I would say is that that's not actually a difference between the Nicene Creed and the Apostles' Creed. What that is, that's a difference between the creeds in general.
Well, there's a different, there's a different idea of what the Holy Spirit was. I know the Holy Spirit's been debated about for centuries.
So that line, and the Son, is called the Filioque, and my Latin is terrible, and by that I mean non-existent. Otis, Gadfly Fiction. Sorry, you can tell me how jacked up I am. But that and the Son was added by the Latin speakers, so the Roman Catholic Church, and is actually part of. There's a lot of politics as well, but it's the theological basis that the Orthodox Church used as the grounding for the Great Schism between the Eastern Orthodox and the Western Catholic Church. They said, hey, the Ecumenical Council made the Nicene Creed and said nobody's supposed to change it, and you guys changed it without authorization, and you changed it in a way that is actually heretical. The Eastern Orthodox says that the proceeds from the Father and the Son is a type of heresy, because they say that it proceeds only from the Father, which is that's
true.
Very complicated into the being and nature of the Trinity, which itself is very complicated.
Isn't that where they start questioning, the Pope's authority and all that, because of that heretical stance,
Yes.
that perceived heretical
Broadly
stance,
speaking.
and then of course everybody knows 1054 they excommunicate the patriarch of, was it the patriarch of
Constantinople.
Constantinople.
They excommunicated each other.
Yeah.
They crossed excommunicated
You
each other.
can't excommunicate me. I excommunicate you.
Yeah,
You can't fire me. I quit.
But yeah, they had a big fight. Mostly, in my personal opinion, it was mostly driven by personality and politics.
Yeah.
But they use the theological basis. I think that theological conversation has actually been rectified a long time ago. Maximus the Confessor wrote. He's a saint. He wrote a lot about this issue, and basically justified the fact that the words were added to portray one meaning, and it had to do with the linguistic difference between Greek and Latin. It had to do with a type of heresy that was cropping up in the West that was not cropping up in the East, but that the thoughts behind the words between the two faiths are actually the same, and that it's just a fight over language, not over actual theological understanding, and therefore it's not actually heresy on either side. Was sort of what he said. And
this was Maximus the Confessor.
Unfortunately, both sides are too stuck in their ways at this point, because the Catholic Church will never accept the Orthodox back unless they bow to Rome, and the Orthodox will never accept.
You heard my question, right?
On those terms.
You heard my question,
I'm
right?
sorry?
You heard my question. I said, "Is this Maximus the Confessor saying this?" I was kind of interjecting there. I know you like to keep talking. I know you like to keep talking and keep the thought going, but I was interjecting my question, so my bad.
I mean, I very loosely paraphrased him. Like, I've barely read what he said. I read people who summarized what he said. I am not a theologian.
You sure fool me. Sure fool me, kid.
Whisker Fisherman over here is just like, what is happening on Minor Boreal Stream?
No, he says this is actually where these streams are the best. So cheers.
And then he says, "Are we really here?"
Are we? Well, I'm wondering if I'm here, because I'm interjecting and you keep talking. I'm like, am I really here? Are you even hearing me at this point? Don't answer that.
No.
There you go.
I get on my
yeah. Once you get a pips going, you won't stop. Like that's why he's got the horse on his. That's why he has the horse on his avatar. Once you get him going, he's gonna keep going. There you go. See.
I'm not smart enough to think, talk, and listen at the same time. Can't do it.
I'm the one with that problem. Jeez. you can talk, you can hold a conversation, you can listen, and you can chat at the same time. I can't do that. I can't multitask like that. So but yeah, so going back to the Anglican stuff, is it 7 sacraments like the Catholics?
Okay.
Or is it 2 sacraments like the Lutherans? Because the Lutherans only have 2 sacraments, and that's basically baptism and communion. Whereas Orthodox and the Catholics have 7. I know one of them is marriage. I forget what the other 4 are. Can't think right now.
So I'm.
And the other question I have is: do the Anglicans believe that that when you have communion, does the bread become the body, and does the wine become the blood? Because the Lutherans don't believe that, but the Catholics do. Okay. So and the Orthodox definitely do.
If you'll permit me here, I'm going to just read from it right here. So the Anglicans believe in 7 sacraments, but they consider that there are greater sacraments and lesser sacraments. There are 2 greater sacraments that we agree with the Lutherans on, and then there are 5 lesser sacraments: confirmation, penance, holy orders, holy matrimony, and unction. Those are the 5 additional ones that the Catholics include. So basically, we agree with both. We agree with the Catholics there are 7 sacraments, but we say that only 2 of those sacraments were established directly by Christ, and those 2 are therefore the greater sacraments. basically the ones that we say are, I don't know that I would say that we say they are necessary for salvation, but that they're of a higher order, given that they were considered so important by God that
Mm-hmm.
He directly established them, is essentially where the Anglicans would come down. In answer to your other question, you're going to be
Mm-hmm.
frustrated by this.
Mm-hmm.
The Anglican Church says that they believe in the very real presence of God in the Eucharist. And they
Okay.
don't define what that means. And the reason they don't define what that means actually goes back somewhat to the Elizabethan Compromise, basically the bloody war between the Catholics and the Anglicans in England. And they said, look, if you believe in transubstantiation and you believe
Is that what they call it?
in
Transubstantiation?
that's what the Catholics believe in, where it becomes the physical body and blood.
Mm-hmm.
The Anglicans believe that it is the true, real, and personal presence of God, but they don't say that you must specifically believe that that very and real presence takes the form of the actual matter, atoms, and material of
Mm-hmm.
flesh and blood, essentially.
I see.
So they basically say that the Eucharist is a miracle. In this way, we agree with the Orthodox in that it is a mystery of the faith, and
Yeah.
we don't tell you exactly what happens, because we say that that it is not something that humans and our knowledge and understanding really extends to anyway. And we leave the door slightly ajar for differing of opinions within Anglicans, because they decided a long time ago, maybe don't kill the person in the pew next to you because they believe in transubstantiation and you don't.
Mm.
Was the Elizabethan Compromise. But there you go,
Okay.
very real presence,
All right.
which is similar to the formation in the Orthodox Church.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna open another
And the
can of
same
I'm
as
gonna
the
open
Lutheran
another
Church.
can of worms here. I'm just gonna warn you right now. What's the Anglican stance on salvation? Like, is it simply grace that the Protestants or the evangelicals believe? Stuff that you can never earn. You just have to accept Christ as your personal savior, or is there more to it?
Okay, so you're saying, like, do they believe in what is sometimes by Catholics called sola fide, faith alone,
Mm-hmm.
which is used critically by Catholics? Yes. So the Anglican Church would look at Ephesians 2 and say, it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and it is not from yourselves; it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no man could boast.
Yeah.
And that would be our touch point, and say that if you want to distill down to the minimum necessary components, grace is all that's required, faith is all that's required. I can't really say how far that actually distinguishes from Catholicism, Roman Catholicism, because I think that there's a lot of people talking past each other in this area, right? So the Catholics will say faith and works, right? And a lot of Protestants will say that's heresy and bad stuff, and the Catholics will say the Protestants, it's heresy and bad stuff for saying it's just faith. But the bottom line is that what the Catholics mean by works is an interesting question, because often what they mean is the work of the church. So, like, the work administers baptism, the church administers baptism, the church administers the Eucharist, the church administers holy unction and union and confirmation and orders. It administers the sacraments. And if you believe the sacraments have the power to save, which anyone who believes in the Nicene Creed, we believe in one baptism for the forgiveness of sins, then you believe that the act of baptism, which is a work performed by the church, so there's some nuance there that I don't want to put words into Catholics' mouths, and I don't want to say what other Protestants believe. I'd say that the Anglicans believe that you personally just need faith, and that works come from your faith. but that there are works that are performed by the church. So it's a, yeah.
I see. Can you explain the physical part again?
I'm going to email this stream to my priest and ask him to tell me how screwed up I am.
So Anglicans are priests, not pastors.
So the Anglican Church, so the Episcopal
ordained
Church
priests
as well, but the Anglican Communion maintains apostolic succession, which is the idea behind, the apostles raising up bishops and the bishops raising up other bishops, and there's a line connected all the way back to Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have priests.
And then what's made that would excuse me. I think I might have too much drink. That's what makes a priest, basically, or bishop a bishop. The whole apostolic succession.
The sacrament of holy orders, right, is what makes a priest a priest. The idea that a person who was
let me look up sacraments. Let me 7 sacraments. Always
holy
7.
Orders is one of them. The idea, roughly, for anyone watching at home who's still watching for some reason, listening to 2 uneducated people talk about religion, the idea is that the apostles received the Holy Spirit at Pentecost, and that the apostles then were empowered by Christ to go and essentially baptize and convert. And
the Great Commission,
establish the church on earth, right? And part of establishing the church on earth is they established certain orders within the church, among them deacons, priests, and bishops. And they did this by, the laying of hands and the communication of the Holy Spirit from them, just like they received it from Christ, onto these people. And so the idea within the churches that maintain apostolic succession is that the reason that the Eucharist is a sacrament, the reason that the baptism is a sacrament, the reason all of these things happen are because a person who is imbued with the Holy Spirit by a chain of people who were imbued by Christ himself performed this miracle that the church is established to perform. So
where does Baptist fall on? You're Protestant.
Baptists are Protestants. Baptists are out of the original Reformation. American Baptist churches, I think, owe a lot more to their what I would call backwoods revivalism roots than the Protestant Reformation. So the Baptist, the Anabaptist, I believe, movement, the broader umbrella, did come out of the Reformation, along with Calvinism, the Anglican Church, Lutheranism, and a few others. I think there's a few other Catholic Reform. There's the Dutch Church. There's a few others. Presbyterianism as well.
I'm not sure why they call themselves Baptists. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about Baptists.
They call themselves Baptists because they baptize.
Is that it?
Baptists believe in adult baptism, and they combine the sacrament of baptism and confirmation together. So.
I mean, okay. I mean, yeah. I guess other evangelicals have kind of taken that idea. The mega churches do the adult baptism too. Does that make them Baptists?
I would say that in the U.S. there's a lot of people who call themselves non-denominational churches. You've probably heard that term, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's what I mean by evangelical, basically.
And I would say most of those churches are functionally Baptist. They are just not necessarily part of the major Baptist communions. So they're non-denominational because they're not a part of a denomination, but theologically and doctrinally they're Baptist. And the Baptist churches, generally speaking, like I said, have a mixed theology and doctrine from the Great Awakening in the United States in the 17 or 1800s. Long time since I looked at that. I think late 17. No, I think it was the 1800s. Anyway, the Great Awakening in the United States. Here, Google has this answer. This is dumb.
I'm doing the same thing.
All right, the Great Awakening.
17th century started. Yeah,
I was right. There we go.
Yeah.
Bam. 1700s to 1800s. The Great Awakening. had a lot to do with
Oh,
the
Jonathan
foundation of
Edwards.
churches,
I remember.
things like that.
I remember reading Jonathan Edwards. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been to many Baptist churches in my lifetime, moving around the U.S. doing stuff. Um, there's a lot of great Baptist churches. I don't agree with a lot of the theological positions of the Baptist church writ large, but you know,
Why not enough coffee? Not enough coffee in the church? Is that what you disagree with?
um, well, the Baptist conference this last year actually, it was tabled in front of the Baptist convention to bring the Nicene Creed uh, into the everyday service in Baptist churches. I'm not sure whether or not they were going to say the Nicene Creed every church service if they don't already, or if they were going to establish it as a core part of their church as well. The details escape me a little bit, but it got voted down. They actually rejected the sort of like holding up of the Nicene Creed, to my recollection. Let's just double check myself if I'm saying anything here. That's hey, in the chat, call me out if I'm full of it. I think that they accept it, they like it, but the problem is the Nicene Creed says we believe in one baptism for the forgiveness of sins, and Baptists don't generally believe that baptism forgives sin. They believe, like I said, they combine baptism and confirmation. They believe that the act of baptism is an act in the community, that you are becoming baptized because you are choosing to profess that you're a Christian, but that it doesn't actually do anything.
Well, doesn't it also like wipe away? It washes away original sin. That's something I learned.
So that's because
something I learned as a kid.
You grew up Orthodox and Lutheran, and both of them believe that happens with baptism. Yes.
Not okay.
I mean, the Anglican Church does as well. The Baptists generally don't, to my knowledge. And again, to the one person who's still watching us talk about theological stuff.
Yeah, no.
Whisker, if any of this doesn't make any sense to you and you think that I'm totally off base and wrong here, I mean, I'm not a Baptist, so I'm, yeah.
He's also not a biologist either.
I'm not a biologist.
Nope.
Also not an engineer.
No. Really?
We just say things that I'm not.
I am an engineer, so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of. I've actually started listening to. I've been interested because of reading the stuff and the band The Red Hand, the religion part. It's made me want to like. Because I grew up Orthodox, and we used to have homilies talking about stuff. The priest would talk about like the church fathers and stuff, and I was just like, "What are you talking about?" I kind of want to learn about that. So I started downloading some books, audio books on the history of the church and all that, just as a starting point. Got that. Believe it or not, I was listening to, on my way home today, I was actually listening to like a lecture on just like, the origins of Rome and all that. So very, very good, narration to the point where it wasn't boring. I was able to pay attention for once. Been listening to.
You hit your quota of thinking about Rome as a man. That's a requirement. You have to, several times a day, you have to think about Rome.
I watched the first episode of Rome, HBO's Rome, and like just compared to watching House of the Dragon, it's been really like the first episode is just really good. Like the problem is I haven't watched episode 2 yet, but all the writing, the writing is pretty tight. Writing is tight and pretty solid. Like the characters don't sound like they're spewing they're spewing, you know, lines or lore because the script demands it. If it seems like they're, you know, like I could suspend my disbelief and believe that these are real characters with arcs and all that, and it's fascinating to watch. So it makes me want to watch more Rome. So I think I've had too much to drink. I can't think now. I'm done, by the way. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done, dude. I'm done.
There you go. Me too. Done.
So
we were talking about good TV shows a while ago before we got sidetracked onto religion.
I've been meaning. We were supposed to talk about religion last time, but I was a mean jerk to you and ended up arguing about Wheel of Time. So I kind of got to make up for it. So I wanted to talk about religion anyway. So yeah.
Well, there you go. We talked a lot about it.
Mm-hmm. What I know you shared your book. You shared your book. I'm actually listening to. What else am I listening to? I'm listening to the was it the War on the West? What's it called? The War on the West? Or let me look. I have so many credits of I have so many Audible credits. I have like 3 Audible credits right now. Let me see what I got. The War on the West, Douglas Murray. That's what I'm listening to. So I've been all the stuff about racism.
Now that you mentioned that you're reading Douglas Murray.
Yeah. The whole So I've been the part I'm listening is about racism, anti-racism. Pips, are you an anti-racist? Are you an anti-racist? Like, do you suffer from white fragility? Are you I'm trying to remember. Like, are you ashamed to talk about racism because you're racist? That's the rule. That's the rules that they came up with for anti-racism. So only white people can be racist, and no one else can be because, you know, why not? Why not? Apparently we're the worst.
I will defer to the writings of Shelby Steele and Thomas Sowell and Glenn Lowry on that topic.
I forget
the three of them have written very good and eloquent works on these topics that I could not replicate and will not attempt to. Also, I don't have the requisite assets to be able to talk about that on stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've heard. I mean, everybody knows Thomas Sowell. I have his. What do I got? I don't
know about everybody. I think he's criminally.
I have unknown. Basic Economics. I'm not finished with that. I have Basic Economics, and I have Discriminations and Disparities. I was actually listening to Discriminations and Disparities on my way to, well, believe it or not, to see you.
Oh, really? You didn't even tell me about that? All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to be back in half a second.
So we got Whisker Fisherman, $5. Blood Meridian is free on YouTube, dude. Shit is crazy. I have Blood Meridian. I have Blood Meridian's on my list. It's in my Kindle. I have the book. I plan on reading it. I didn't know the book existed until there's a channel called The Vile Eye, and he talks about evil and villains, you know, analyzing evil. Michael Corleone analyzing evil. Hans Landa analyzing evil. Saul Goodman, you know, or Walter White or something like that. So he'll break down a character. He'll break down a character and, you know, and talk about like what basically break down the character and talk about the evil, what makes that character evil and all that. And he talked about the judge from Blood Meridian. And he talked about the judge from Blood Meridian. That's how I found out about Blood Meridian in the first place. And I didn't even realize it was written by the same guy that wrote No Country for Old Men. So yeah, I definitely plan to read it. It's I'm sure it's gonna be one of those books that's gonna have, it's gonna be dark all around, and it's gonna, bad guys are gonna win type of deal, because that's what that author is basically known for. And so I was stuck in my thoughts. So you had discrimination, disparities, and you had, was it intellectuals and society?
Yep. So
What's that one? What's intellectuals and society? What's that one focus on?
So if I could say 4 books of Thomas Sowell that anyone absolutely should read: Basic Economics, that you brought up, A Conflict of Visions, Intellectuals and Society, and Discriminations, Disparities. These 2 I have the hardcovers of. The other ones I own the audiobooks for. He's got a bunch of other great books they're out there, but so you read Discrimination and Disparities. Intellectuals and Society talks about the role of intellectuals in society. Basically, he talks about the way that educated people essentially launder their uneducated ideas into the mainstream. A point that he makes is that so we have a lot of people who are talking heads in the media and policy think tanks and politicians and all these kind of people, right? And some of them even have, PhDs. And because they're a doctor, of philosophy, people will say, oh, well, this guy, he's a very intelligent guy. He knows what he's talking about. And, one that comes to mind to me would be Noam Chomsky, or, someone like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Noam Chomsky was a PhD, I believe, in linguistics.
Yeah.
But he talked about economics, politics. He talked about all of these different things that were well outside his field of expertise. And so basically one of the points that Thomas Sowell makes, in addition to the fact that experts have been wrong all over the time, and really never held accountable to the fact that they're wrong,
Nope.
that somebody can be
Nope.
massively, catastrophically wrong, and then 10 years later is still espousing views and viewed as credible. But he makes the point that, like, a person with a PhD in, say, linguistics is very similar in their expertise as, say, like a concert violinist, right? Someone who is exceptionally skilled and gifted and is the top of their field in a extremely narrowly focused, sort of field of study and expertise, right? And he's like, would you ever ask a concert violinist, or would you ever ask a pitcher for the Yankees, or would you ever ask one of these people their thoughts on economic policy?
No,
you
you
asked
Robert De Niro. You ask actors. You ask film actors. That's who you listen to. But no, absolutely not. No.
Yeah, the point he makes is that having expertise in one area doesn't mean anything about your expertise in other areas, and a lot of people launder their expertise in one area into others and are viewed as credible. Is one of the things that he talks about here. He also comes with receipts about a lot of people. It's interesting. You can read this book, and a lot of left-wing political theorists really were big proponents of what was going on in, like, 1939, 1940 Germany. But modern times, they'll tell you it's not left-wing. It's not left-wing at all. All of the left-wing, intellectuals were talking about how great this guy was and his policies at the time. But as soon as they saw how bad he was, they all said, we never said that. But he actually comes with the receipts. He's like, hey, front page of the New York Times. Here's all of these, fancy academic journals. Here's these publications from university presses. Here's all these people talking about how great and socialist the things going on in a certain part of the world in a certain time are. But of course, nowadays, if you try and say that those things are socialists, you'd be told, you don't understand what you're talking about. It's like, well, the people at the time thought they were socialist, but I guess they probably didn't know anything either.
Probably not. Hey, so, quit spouting off far right talking points. Jeez.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was just talking about history. I didn't say anything. I just talking about the continental politics in the 1930s. These are just historical. These are just historical facts. and I would never draw parallels between modern society and modern, presidential candidates, for example. I would never do that. That's rhetoric that I think has no place. You know,
Amen to that, Pips. Amen to that. So, Peter Vakeman fan site. What's up? How are you? Haven't seen you in a while.
hey,
But yeah, it's been over an hour. It's been 80 minutes actually. So I finished my drink. Did you finish yours or something?
I finished my drink.
You finished your drink.
And I think we've gotten you canceled for talking about religion and
no,
politics
no.
and
I'm not. I'm
Thomas
not.
Sowell on the
I'm
same
not.
street. How are
I'm
you?
not. I'm not
Are you
relevant enough for
demonetized
that.
yet?
Huh? I've never been demonetized. I've never been demonetized. I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
All right, chat, chime in here. Let's help us get Nerd Portal demonetized. He needs to pop his cherry.
Oh, I forget how did Steve was posting I think Band of Brothers stuff. Him and Zax were posting Band of Brothers stuff, and that's what got him in trouble. So luckily, both of them managed to get their right get their right to or get their monetization back. So I'm just curious if what's up.
That was a while ago though, right?
Yeah, I think it was about a year ago, roughly.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I am curious because I've heard stories where people have had videos uploaded for years, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, they just get hit by copyright, or they get hit by a copyright strike or something. So, I mean, there's a possibility that could happen to me because whenever I upload a video, I always get if there's a problem with it, a ding. I get dinged. There's this part of the video has something that's copyrighted or something, so I'll have to change it. But there have been points where I've come up with alternatives that have allowed me to get away with stuff. But it seems like over time some of that has changed. So luckily I haven't had any issues. But like I said, that could always change. So, especially if you keep a scene long enough when you're showing let's say you do a video about, let's say, movie, let's say Lord of the Rings or something. I try to keep my clips as short as possible, no longer than 3 seconds. So kind of like how the Critical Drinker does it. So clip, cut, and everything. So, and then what I always do is I always expand the screen. So just to kind of show the idea of whatever I'm showing, or just to show something, but not show the entire thing. That could be another way that they could hit you. So I don't know. I forget.
I think like Peter is saying, YouTube is arbitrary about the strikes because there's the algorithmic strikes, right? Where it's just content claims, right? And you can sometimes fight those and get them taken, but generally speaking, if the bot grabs it, it's hard to get rid of the content claims. You generally have to do some sort of edit, but it's not a channel strike. And then the strike policy is like if somebody reports you, depending on, if you have a channel that has content and all those things that the mods at YouTube that day that receive the report, you're probably gonna get a strike. So
Whisker Fisherman for $5. Gun channels are no longer allowed to have gun shops sponsor them. You know anything about that? I'm not the gun guy.
I did hear that there was some action being taken against gun YouTube channels, potentially based on the idea that the shooter this last weekend was wearing a T-shirt from a fairly prominent YouTube gun channel.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding was that channel is like I don't really subscribe to those channels and don't watch them. My understanding was that channel was apolitical, so not a political channel at all. Was just hey, cool guns and shooting stuff and whatever, right? versus like there's the AK guy and Colion Noir, and there's ones that are clearly political, and then there are the ones that are like, yeah, guns are fun and we're just going to shoot guns.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was that type, but I heard that there was action taken against gun YouTube channels in general. I don't know the details though.
Oh, that stinks. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Well, apparently, Pips, you're running the show, so you can answer this question. I'm just here.
I mean, hey, I'm already 30 minutes past when I said I would probably try and head to bed.
Yeah, the same here. I mean,
if you need me to hang you on until Steve and Gadfly can join up, I can wait around for another 15 minutes until Gadfly can join. I see Steve in the chat now, which means he has to now enter the stream, right? He's your streaming buddy.
What's he do? What's he? Oh, show up now. Gun channels are being deleted if they post gun content past June 16th or something. Oh, jeez. All this reactionary crap. It's just stupid. Whatever. People freaked out. 9/11 happened. They canceled Gundam on Cartoon Network. Or the whole war in Ukraine, they canceled a video game, was it Advance Wars on the Nintendo Switch? I don't understand this. Just like, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't help. It doesn't help anybody. So why? So you all could feel better about yourselves? Fuck off. Sorry. Sorry, Pips. I'm getting tired myself. I've been up since 3 a.m. or something, 2 a.m. or something. So, yeah, I fell asleep really early, and then I got up, played Elden Ring, hung out a little bit, and then didn't sleep for the remainder of the evening. Didn't even bother going to the gym. I just did some dumbbell rows, and that was it. So,
how's your gym journey going?
Oh God, I haven't done anything since I started work. I haven't been able to get past waking up early and then going to the gym and all that. So I'm trying to think of a good plan. I'm trying to think maybe I should go in the evening. Go in the evening when there's nobody there. That way I can actually use the equipment and get back on my my journey to do a pull-up, which I never been able to do. I was always a big kid, so I was always heavier than everybody else. So I think that was part of the problem, and I never knew how to. I never knew how to develop that. I don't know. I never knew how to. I didn't know how to train for that. Didn't. So.
Well, hey, you were working pretty good on it a little bit ago. You were talking your progress and stuff. So.
Yeah, I didn't get to it, but I started doing I started doing your little program. So I started doing the reverse rows. Just I would use a squat bar, a squat rack. Have the bar. Then I would lower it to something that was comfortable for me.
Yep.
Start chest high, maybe work my way to waist high, possibly, and then just start that. I could do about 4 sets of those roughly before farting out and all that. So
yeah, I've heard that those are initially called Australian pull-ups, which I need to ask Aldan about.
I think I did those once. I did those once in college. Someone I knew. I was working out with someone I knew in my fraternity, and he was doing those. I never thought to do those, honestly. So yeah. And then you said it. You said it in the fitness channel. So I started doing it. And I know I've watched other channels say to do those as well. So I try to do at least 10 at least. That's always been my goal is to do at least 10 reps or 10 to 12 reps. So when I was working out, I was trying to do 12 reps or something. and stuff. And if I could do up to that, then I would I would move on to the next weight down and all that. So,
I'm not going to claim to be any sort of an expert in weightlifting. I've
well,
honestly,
you're stronger than all of us probably. I mean, you've done you were an athlete in college, obviously. So, you've done
but
you've
I was an
done a
athlete
lot
in
of.
college. I was an athlete in college for.
By the way, when you said you were an athlete, I looked you up. I found you. I found you.
Really?
Yes, I did. Because I can't.
Oh, man.
What can I say? What can I say?
Now I'm concerned. And now
You don't look much. You don't
concerned.
look much different. You don't look much different. I think you look younger now than you did then.
That's definitely not true. I got gray hairs. You know.
You don't have gray hair.
Man,
I have gray hairs.
man,
You don't have gray hairs.
Back.
I met
back
him.
in
He
the
doesn't have
day-
gray hairs.
Back in the day, I was a lean 180 pounds, if you can believe it.
What do you now? Were you like 200? You're over 200, right?
Oh, I'm 220.
You're no way. You're not 220. You're like
I'm-
I thought you were like
I'm
200
40
pounds. You're 205.
heavier than I was when I was a
That's still
young
impressive for
D1 athlete.
the amount of pull-ups you can do. Like, I think what was the last time you did, like, I think you said 23 pull-ups is what the Marines require now, like to get like a perfect
that's the
score
max.
in the fitness test. So yeah, I mean, you could do it. So yeah, I mean,
which I'll say I was frustrated. I only got 22 come test day this most recent time. I have
what's
gotten to
considered
23
what's considered a
in the gym,
failure?
you know, but
Yeah, what's considered a failure? Like how many?
No self-respecting Marine knows what the minimum score is.
Okay, all right.
Honestly, it's a weird quirk about the Marine Corps. If you talk to most of the other services,
Yeah.
they'll all be able to tell you, hey, what's the minimum run time? What's the minimum number of push-ups? What's the minimum number of crunches? If you ask Marines about the fitness test, they'll tell you what the maximum number of pull-ups are, what the maximum run time is, what the
The
maximum.
minimum
number
is
of
not in our
crunches.
language.
We
It's
don't-
not
we don't
it's
do
not in the
crunches
language.
anymore. But,
It's not in the language.
But it's literally like I've been a proctor for fitness tests before, and you'll get somebody who like doesn't do well, and you like know they didn't do well, and you're like shit, and you go the back of the binder real quick, and you check like, all right, how old are you, and like male, and you go down the thing, and you're like, all right, you didn't fail, okay, got it, but like I have no idea, I don't know what the minimums are.
What's up, man?
Hey.
How's it going?
What you doing?
Yeah, not
Good
too
to see
bad. I just had to gobble down some dinner.
You had to take a break after being offended by my descriptions of various religion and historical facts.
No, those were mostly all right.
Mostly
But,
all right.
You're mostly okay.
I have my sister and niece coming over, or have come over from Scotland. So entertaining and doing all that sort of stuff, and it's been a long day of trying to get my own work done while also
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
yeah.
yeah, it's nice that you're still going and that I can jump on.
Yeah, I mean,
But
yes,
is
I'm
that-
probably
okay,
gonna. We're
is
probably
that
gonna be
white
on for
wine?
another few more. We're probably gonna be on for a few more minutes. I know I'm getting tired myself. I've had too much to drink already, so I'm probably gonna crash soon. I don't know. What are you drinking, Catfly? What are you drinking?
It's just a very light beer, Lug Tread Bose. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's palatable. It's not too heavy and gives a nice light end to a.
When was the last time I had beer?
I
I
was-
think I had like
I
I
was
had a
hoping-
citrusy beer
A Radler?
for I don't know. Was it yeah, I think it might have been a Radler. I don't remember. I usually like Radlers. I didn't like this one, so maybe it wasn't a Radler. Because I've had the what's the name of the brand? What's the name of the Radler brand that they have at the store? I can't even think of it. No, whatever. Who cares?
Not in the
used to,
same country, so
Yeah, you used to only really see Radlers, at least from my experience, I only saw Radlers in Germany. And then in the last like 5 or 10 years, you started seeing Radlers in a can by like Budweiser. Like it's really, it's really spread widely. Although most of them are shit. Most Radlers that you get in a can are awful.
What Radler have I had? Oh,
We
Stiegel.
have a-
Stiegel. I've had Stiegel. Have you ever had Stiegel?
yeah.
Okay, that's the one I've had. I like that one. That one was not
we
bad.
have a number of really good Radlers up in the area around me. I'm because I'm in like a university party town. We also have like 50 breweries, just like
So
within
I'm
10 minutes.
The same as so. There's a 3 blocks from my house. There's a little shop that does buy by the can or by the bottle, and they also have a big wall of taps. But it's mostly North Carolina. That's where I live. Breweries, and in the town here, there's like you said, there's probably 50 or more breweries, plus distilleries, plus wineries, plus.
How come we didn't go? How come we didn't go to any of these?
There are good Radlers, but
How come we didn't?
You have to go to craft brew in the U.S. for a good Radler.
Wait, how come we didn't go to any of these places, Pips?
Because I took you to a shitty burger place, and I'm sorry, you're never gonna let me live it down. It was the last time I went there. I swear it was good, and then it was awful when I took you there. And
wait, so you didn't enjoy it? So you didn't enjoy it either, basically.
It was disappointing.
Are you saying this because of the fact I didn't finish the food, or did you not like it yourself, or did the wife not like it?
Disappointing. It was just.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, you have to. I mean, understand this is not. I mean, I understood that it's not Chicago. Like Chicago has the best food. We have the best food here. What can I say?
Huh?
Well, I mean, Wilmington is. I mean, I didn't even know Wilmington existed until I met you. Oh, sorry. The drink has been. The drink has kind of taken over me, so I might be a little bit happier than usual. Maybe a little more clumsy too. So, but DJ Ronnie G, member for 26 months. Is strength training okay to do after red wine? Pips, you like red wine, or you like wine? I don't know if it's red wine, but you can answer this one. I can't.
I mean, sure, yeah,
Okay, so in other words, Pips does for once. Pips does not know. Pips does not know something. I'm here to say hallelujah, hallelujah.
I was going to defer to Gadfly and say
Gadfly will know.
Is there a weightlifting equivalent to in Vine Veritas? Is there? Well, you'll get your PRs after wine. Is that the corollary?
Well, it depends on how much wine. Right.
By the way, I have to say I was hoping that you were drinking mead after we talked about the sagas and the Vikings and stuff. That was really what I was hoping it was.
Well, I haven't opened this one yet.
Oh, nice.
It's a craft mead. So.
Man, I've only had mead once, and that was at the Bristol Renaissance Fair in Wisconsin. So.
DJ should not be listening to my advice about.
Hey, I mean, but honestly, no. DJ Ronnie G knows all about. If you want somebody that knows about Hyperion, talk to him. I mean, talk to him.
DJ Ronnie, are you going to be? Well, first of all, do you know Technically Mexican? His YouTube channel. You know him. Because I recognize your name from the Nerdporial streams here. I don't know how we may have interacted in other channels as well. So hopefully I'm not forgetting. Sorry, I'm terrible with names for people I actually know. But do you know him? And are you going to be on his book stream by any chance? If not, you should join in the comments. I don't know when it's going to be, but like in the next couple weeks or so. There you go. Sweet. Bam. He's going to do a Hyperion stream. and
See-
I'm going to be on it, and I'm going to, well, hopefully, if my schedule allows, and I will say all of the bad takes about Hyperion that you can tell me how wrong I am, just like Nerdportal does.
With what? With what?
House of the Dragon.
No, I don't think. I don't
Better
tell
Call
you you're
Saul.
wrong about House of the Dragon. I don't think I ever tell you you're wrong about anything.
No,
I think
House
the,
of
the
Dragon,
only
Better
time
Call
we've
Saul,
argued, the only time we've argued was how I
Andor.
felt about.
Andor.
Okay, Andor is one. Okay, Andor is one thing, sure. And then we argued about Wheel of Time, which I seriously lost that argument because you backed your stuff up with facts, and I was just basing my stuff off of my feelings and what I was expecting versus what Robert Jordan put on the page and all that. So, but yeah, so yeah. But yeah, so I'm for about 100 minutes now. So, Pips, I know you said you want to go. So, is there anything you want to promote? I know you guys. I know you. So yeah, man. I mean,
I'm
yeah.
gonna
You the
do
fact that
this.
you actually called me, and said, "Hey, are you still doing it?" I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I have to now because if Pips." So the entire time you and I hung out, even when I was in your own, even when I was, you know, even when I was staying in your house, you were texting me. You didn't call me and all that. So
I think I called you at least once. It probably happened.
I called you because I was like, "Hey, I'm on my way." I'm just like saying, "Hey, I'm just giving you a warning. Hey, I'm 10 minutes away or something like that." So yeah, you and I talked on the phone. Yeah. So the fact that you talked to me, you called me today, I was just like, okay, now I have to do a stream or something.
I specifically told you that you didn't have to.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the action speaks louder than the words. So yeah, the fact that said action happened, I kind of had to do it. And plus, I've been holding this for a long time. This blade and bow. The key is somewhere on the floor. I lost the key. Like these things come with a key, like a cool key, and everything. So I lost it somewhere here. What's funny is I still have this. I still have this bottle that's been empty for a while now.
Is it Woodford? Is it the Woodford?
The Angel's Envy, and it's as you could tell, it's full. Has wallowed in the dust for like the last several months or something. So yeah, so yeah, so I haven't had the nerve to throw this away. So I don't know. Is it okay to keep bottles or something? Is it like disturbing? Is it sick?
Gadfly, do you keep
Gadfly
bottles? I've never been into that.
I keep some.
I feel like okay. Do you keep them when it was like a really good bottle, or do you keep it because the event or the the context around when you had it, right? Because there's two types of people who save bottles, I guess.
So I will keep. It's kind of like a mixture of things. If it's a really interesting bottle,
A classic academic answer.
Yeah, I will tend to
never ask an elf a question.
If there is a memory attached to it, I tend to have it around for a while, but I eventually get rid of it. But what I usually do is keep a bottle of something that I have liked.
Okay.
And that way I'll have like a I like that, and I'll know what to go for. So I don't have to remember the names and brands and stuff. I can just be like, oh, here we go.
See, I do the same thing actually, but I keep full bottles of the ones that I like. So the ones that I have that are like, oh man, this is like my favorite, I'll have like 3 or 4 bottles of the same one because I want to just, hey, I have a White Walker bottle unopened in my freezer right now.
What
I
is
always
that?
thought-
Was it is that is that whiskey? Is it a beer?
Okay.
What is it?
I'll bring it back in a second. I'm going to inflict this on you. I don't know if you saw it before. The Wheel of Time graphic novel for The Great Hunt with the greatest cover art. There it is. Look at it. Look at it. Gadfly, have you looked at the graphic novels? I couldn't remember if you did or if it was somebody else on the Discord.
I saw a lot of images of the the Great Hunt ones, and I couldn't get into the art style. I think like they
made
tried to take
Balsamon.
end book descriptions of the characters and transpose them in, and I don't like that.
Yep. We will have a conversation about the art style as I go through. I have a stack of all the ones that have come out so far, including alternate art covers, because I'm going to do a giveaway. But we're going to go through and look at the art. I don't
Like
wanna,
they gave,
I don't want to shit too much on the project. But here, let me go grab that bottle of White Walker.
Yeah, they made Matt look like the way he is in the Shadow Rising, if I remember correctly. He has the wide brimmed hat, he has the green, and he has the green jacket, which he didn't have in the Great Hunt. And then Perrin, I don't think gets the beard until
much later, yeah.
Until the Shadow Rising. So
yeah.
What is that? What is that? Is Johnny okay? So
Johnny White Walker.
Johnny. Oh.
And it's lived in my freezer. It's lived in my freezer. You can see it is actually whiskey. It's lived in my freezer for years, and I don't know.
Have you opened it all or no?
I feel like at this point, like there'd have to be a real reason to drink this. Because it's lived here for like I don't know when this came out. Almost a decade I've had this. So
since what?
This is freezing my hand, by the way. I'm gonna put this back in the freezer.
Did that? I'm taking it that came out around the time this happened with the Night King and all that. I don't know. I don't even remember, to be honest. So looks like we got another guest. We have PDP 180, or PD as he's known. So yeah, we were just talking about you, PD. So
where am I? Greetings, human biological beings. I got a new third eye. Can you recognize my third eye nerdporeal life form?
No, I can't.
Oh, you should, because I'm talking my human voice. It's the Genesis effect.
Oh, okay.
See the molecules there?
Is there Genesis waves involved too?
Yeah.
Is there proto matter involved? Is this stream going to blow up because of
I contain proto matter
instability
in my
of the proto
circuits.
matter?
Proto matter powers my positronic relays.
I see.
Greetings, Pips. Are you also a fellow robot? You remind me of my friend VT800.
I've been accused of, being an algorithm that is manifesting as a person that's manifesting as a horse.
Equines. My language processes are faulty.
As far as I'm concerned, Pips is a living search engine. You ask him something, he's going to give you all. If you ask him something in Discord, he's going to give you all the information. Just Googling something, he's going to give you all the information, all the details behind it. It's true. It's true. No, it's true. It's true. I mean,
I know a lot of useless information.
No, Gadfly knows. Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with you. But yeah. But you're like a literal. You're a literal search engine. what can I say? I'm not. I can't do that.
I'd like to download your data sometime.
That's
Kind of data.
sounds a little, yeah, it sounds a little aggressive coming from you, to be honest.
Speaking of data, he is an inspiration to me.
Data. Oh, that data. Okay.
But yes, I would like to download Mr. Pips's data since he has a repository.
I'll drink to that.
Well, are you coming to us from the present, or is this a connection from the future, or the distant past?
I think he's from the
or
distant
is it-
past, like the Cylons. I think he's an offshoot of the Cylons from Battlestar
As it
Galactica. So
turns
say
out-
I all.
I am not a toaster. I am an easy bake oven. That's why my eyes are so good. Secondly, Pips, I am from the future, although typically I sit in front of a quantum core or in front of pictures of my great-great-grandparents. Would you like to see a picture
No.
of my great-grandparents?
Nope.
I think you might want to see a picture of my great-grandparents. But luckily, DJ Bonnie G does not organize the files properly. So lucky you.
Don't open the link, Nerdporial. Don't click the
No,
link.
no, I won't. Ugh, but yeah, PD. Just I gotta say, you just make me think of an '80s robot. Have you ever seen Short Circuit by any chance? You know, that's a
love
very wholesome
Johnny
movie.
Five.
Oh, Johnny
Five is my hero.
Short Circuit. Okay. Okay.
I feel bad about the time he got electric. My audio circuits were disabled. But yes, I have seen Short Circuit. I love Johnny Five, even though I'm incapable of love. I am quite fond of him.
Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking of. Sorry, I wasn't thinking of Johnny Five. I got the movies mixed up. I was thinking Batteries Not Included. That's the wholesome. That's the wholesome movie about with elderly. You know, it's like if
Are
Cocoon
you sure
had.
you weren't thinking of Small Soldiers?
Well, Small
Batteries-
Soldiers came out in 1988, bro. I mean Small Soldiers was awesome, man. I remember that. It was a good movie.
Small Soldiers didn't come out in 1988.
No, 1998. I said 1998.
Oh, okay.
No, but Batteries Not Included, I think, came out in 1988 or 1987 or 80s, something.
That is
Everybody
my
knows I'm
biggest
good with
fear.
years with movies that came out, so what can I say?
Batteries not being included is my biggest fear.
Oh, I see.
And this is my grandfather. What do you think of this grandfather? This family portrait?
Looks a little bit chilly in there.
It is a
It looks
center.
like an office. It looks like an office in the 1970s where everybody's being oppressed and everybody's going to die at the end of the movie or something like that. Especially with those tiled light ceiling right there and all that. Looks like something out of the movie Rollerball, believe it or not.
My grandfather was the IBM 360 mainframe which scanned Tron into Tron.
Interesting. Oh well, I think I need to crash here. I'm going to go nuts.
Oh my god! I was assimilated, but thanks to Beverly Crusher, I was desimilated.
Oh, thank God, my voice is back. Oh, God, that was worse than being Locutus. Real quick, though, I wanted to highlight this, and I, couldn't squeeze it in. I didn't want to be rude and keep talking like a robot. This is Tian Shen from the fourth book in the Hyperion series, The Rise of Endymion. And so what's cool about this planet, Tian Shen is Chinese for Mountains of Heaven, is that the habitable breathable air is at a higher altitude, and at the lower altitudes below the mountains, those thick clouds at the very low altitudes they contain phosgene gas, so not a good time, So people have to live on these pagodas and shit, in the mountains of China, I guess. And it's a pretty cool planet. And so if you make it from book 1 of Hyperion, you get all the way through to book 4. You can, imagine yourself in this setting, because a lot of people give flack to the latter two books of the Hyperion Cantos. They can usually do the first book, but because they love it, like it's like the Canterbury Tales. You got like
Yeah.
5 or 6 people telling stories, but then when you get the book 2, there's a change of pace. I enjoyed it. It was still a good space opera and everything, but some people just like they liked what they got from book 1. They didn't like the change of format. And then for the last 2 books, you have a time jump, and so I'm not gonna like give you detail beyond that. But point being is that some people feel even more removed from the story that they originally loved in book 1. And I would say just get rid of your expectations at the end of book 1 and just enjoy the ride. That's my recommendation.
Well,
See?
thank
That-
you
that's
very
why- that's
much
why I
for
kept that-
the info.
That's why I recommended him. So yeah, we talked about it on Chilporial. So, but yeah, yeah, man. What can I say?
Thank you for accommodating my robot routine. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that
no
was
worry
fun.
about, no worry, it's fine.
You got me kind of looking forward to the later books. I'll say so. I read the first book of Hyperion just because TechMex asked me to read it. He was like, "Hey, you want to read Hyperion?" And I was like, "So how many people did you have to ask before you got down to me on your Rolodex?" And he was like, 37. So I wasn't his last choice. That's my claim to fame. But I was blown away by the first book. I haven't started the second book yet.
Oh yeah,
So
he asked me too. I just noticed. I just opened this thing. He asked me too. I forgot about it. I'm going on a road trip today, and we'll be reading Hyperion by Dan Simmons to do a book club with another YouTuber. In case you are interested and want to join the book club, not my road trip, you weirdo. What the heck, man? You know what's weird is I didn't even read this. So does that make me a bad person?
All right, we're about to dime him out here. Let's see if he copied and pasted and sent the same message.
He probably did.
Let's see. Are we gonna call out TechMex?
Wasn't gonna say
on-
anything, but that's the message I got.
Oh.
So I'm okay. So I'm going on a road trip today, and we'll be reading Hyperion by Dan Simmons to do a book club with another YouTuber. In case you are interested and wants to join. Parentheses. Join the book club, not my road trip. You weirdo.
That's
Date
scamming,
to TBD.
That scamming son of a bitch. He didn't even have.
He
He
said
didn't have
the same.
the good grace to even fix his typo.
Nope.
I'm not only just getting sloppy 37ths. I'm also getting uncorrected typos. This is.
I mean,
You know
we
what?
were supposed
I'm
to
gonna
do.
send him a strongly worded letter.
We were supposed to do an Elric stream, me, him, and Steve, and I'll be honest, I was enjoying Elric. Erkun, give me Stormbringer. I thought that I was enjoying the audio portion of it, but I don't think this ever
also read
happened.
the
So,
Elric books recently.
huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you read?
I said I
you
also
read-
read the Elric books recently because the same.
Same thing. I like the audio. I like the I like the audio. I like the narrator for the ones that just came out. So yeah. So yeah, I mean that's kind of like what I like to see in fantasy. Like there's higher beings. The world is bigger than just what we see it as and all that. So
if you really want a proper epic narrative story to really get your teeth into and cover extensively, I've got a handful for you. There's this one, it's fantastic. It's called The Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah, Epic of Gilgamesh. That's if I remember correctly, that's like the first epic ever,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, Sumerian epic. Yeah.
Is that the one that you got like Darmok and Jalad?
You knew that. I knew that too. That's why I first heard it myself. I hate you, dude. I hate you for. How are you bringing up
that was for
TNG
you. That was
before
for
me?
you. That was for you right there.
I said that on mute.
How does Pips quote Star Trek before me? I don't think I'm ever going to live this one down now. How?
Somebody clip that.
Oh no! Don't clip that, please. You know. Nobody's gonna clip this because I'm not. I mean, unless I have thousands of viewers and everybody's like paying attention to me, like in a microscope, no one's gonna clip this. So I'm you know what? I'm lucky. Unless you do it, Pips, and I know you don't have time. So I'm free and clear. I'm free and clear.
And you
That's
know
true.
I'm
I'm
lazy and I procrastinate, so I'm not gonna do it. Or,
I was
Exactly.
gonna say,
Exactly.
Very
Or there could be a plot twist.
horses are known for being lazy, so
I thought it was jackasses.
what are you just gonna call me names like this on your? You invited me.
I mean, I did. I mean, I've said meaner. I've said meaner stuff. You know, I think I've called you the F words
Yeah.
several times.
That's
you
all right.
know.
I'll give you the old standard that I've been called worse by better.
So, all right. So I think this is it's been 2 hours. I know. So just how do I always end my streams? I always ask somebody what they want to promote. And DJ Ryan G, you're killing me, bro. You're
So
killing
you can
me.
hear that?
I can
that?
hear that. I can hear
Okay,
everything.
I'm sorry. I was on the wrong mute button.
I'm gonna have to
it's
mute
just voice
you.
change the setup. I apologize. That was not my. I wouldn't. Let me know as soon as that happens, man. But I apologize.
Like
I
you're
wouldn't correct-
you're popping everywhere.
No, I know,
You
I
have
know.
to
This would be-
understand. I had too much to drink, so I'm going to be a little bit more blunt than I usually am.
No,
so I
but you should be
apologize.
more blunt.
I truly appreciate you. I truly appreciate you. I'm glad you're here.
You're right.
But the popping is killing me right now.
Dude, I hit the wrong mute button. Like I was hitting this mute button. Apparently, I gotta hit this one.
Beautiful. There's a beauty in silence right here. So not the song, not the sound of silence. That's Simon and Garfunkel, but there's a beauty in silence and just contemplating, just being one with nature, or being one with, if you're driving, you're being one with the engine of your car. I don't know, whatever. So, but yeah, man. So Pips, I know you guys were doing the rewatches. You guys started filming the rewatches, and I don't think there was enough drink in the entire world to make you enjoy Wheel of Time season 2, episode 1. I don't even did you guys even get halfway through the episode? I don't even think, if I remember correctly, you only guys, like every video is like it's, you only get like a third of the way, and even that's considered optimistic.
So we did our first recording. We got about a third of the way through the episode, and we had some, coming out.
Did you get past the shit? What did you get past the shit water part at least?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
So coming out of retirement, we had some technical difficulties. I haven't reviewed the quality of the recording yet, so there's a chance we might have to do it over again, which is just I don't want to think about. But
So are you the one doing the editing, or is Alex doing the editing? Because I thought
yeah, I generally do the editing and put it together, publish it on the channel, all that stuff.
okay.
But yeah, we got Staplebo actually lined up to be, I think, our first guest, and so we'll be getting back into it. And
Yeah, you have to, if you're gonna get guests, you have to get guests that have read the entire Wheel of Time. So like me, I don't make the cut. I don't make the cut. So
Brian is already saying, I refuse to participate in this with you on the record. Don't even ask me.
I'm gonna get angry because like I how I feel about this book, and you know how I feel about the way the show kind of, like, chapter 7 or chapter 8, face it on your feet and all that was in episode 6, and then there was nothing else. And then they go to Falme, and instead of having the fight in the sky, which was such a very profound moment for Rand's character and for the fight against evil, fight against Balsamon, they don't even do that. You have Egwene you have Rand on his knees the entire final
Hey,
part of the
Perrin
season,
was there
which
too,
won
with the shield.
won the March Madness. I think I didn't vote for that, but you know what? That won the March Madness. So, sorry, what were you saying?
I said Perrin was there too. Don't forget him with his shield.
Well, yeah. Perrin murders Perrin murders Jeffrey Borgold. I'm watching this. I'm like, how can they make this worse? How can they thematically match this with the first episode of season 1? Oh yeah, let's just have Perrin murder somebody, because why not?
I just like how you're talking through this, and Gadfly is like stress emoting. He's like giving off the energy of like a cat that like doesn't want you to pet it, and is just kind of like, and it's because he knows that he's gonna have to be on one of these streams.
Yeah,
You have to have the excuse.
You have to bring
the excuse of not finishing the series yet.
You have
We're
to.
gonna
I mean,
force him.
You have to bring Salty on. You're going to have to bring Prophet on. You're going to have to bring Eldan on. You have to bring a whole bunch of people on,
Salty
except
in
me.
the past has said he doesn't want to participate in the rewatches. He is not a fan of our efforts. I think
Oh.
it's too emotionally raw for him. Maybe I don't want to
Yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be a lot of people from the Discord.
But you gotta get
White Cloak
Nathan.
server.
You gotta get Prophet. You gotta get everybody except me because I haven't finished the series. So
See, I'm hoping it's Dane, Pips, and Alex doing episode 1. So there's only 7 other episodes left, which means, if I'm 8th person on the list, then
it's actually take 8 episodes and multiply that by 3 because there's like 3 videos per episode. If you remember they covered season 1 very was a Mystery Science Theater style. Like if they get through 20 minutes of the episode, that's a freaking miracle for what they for. I mean, it's tough because there's so much wrong with it. There's so much wrong with it. It's like incompetence. So. It's like, hey, incompetence, come here. Where are you? Come and bless our show. Incompetence, if incompetence was a deity.
I'm just sad that I'm going to have to be sober for most of these, which is going to be just devastating.
Wasn't Dane pretty done? Wasn't he gone with drink and all that?
I think Dane might have. Well, I won't even say might have. Dane legitimately passed out on one of my streams.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right,
I've been told that we need to be a little more moderation this season because
who told you that? Why are you just saying that about yourself and then nobody actually told you? You're talking about yourself.
I have a friend worked with him in the Marines for a long time who ended up watching our channel. He read the books a long time as well, and he, some constructive criticism was like, yeah, you guys are too damn drunk by the end of these videos. I was like, okay, well, like 5% less. We'll dial it back. Just
5%. Yeah, 5%. How much is that? Who knows? few ounces less. So, all right. Anything else you want to promote? White Cloaks or?
Dude, what do we like? This is a member stream. What do you mean promote?
Whenever I have people on, I always have them promote their channels at the end. That basically constitute that this is the end. That this is the end.
Okay.
So
this is like you're giving us like you're doing the
this is the benediction of the stream.
Okay.
This is the benediction. I forgive you of your sins, Pips. So go fuck yourself.
Right. Nerdtorial is like, hey, what do you want to promote? Also, good night, Moon. Good night.
All right, but yeah, but is there anything else you want to promote? You know,
Nah, man. I'm just having a good time. Thanks for the invitation on the stream. Like I said, I will.
yeah, Pips
hopefully
Pips
come
bullied me.
anytime
Pips
next time.
bullied me into doing this member stream. He's like, hey, you're doing a stream, right? He actually calls me. He's like, hey, I have nothing to do. You're my alternative. You know, everybody. I have nothing to do. So hey, we're doing this. I'm like, okay, fine.
I did actually.
Fine.
I
He did.
actually
Bullied
put a
me.
gun to his head. I used aggression and threatened violence, and
He chose
yeah, I
he
did all those
chose
things.
violence. He decided he
That's
nearly
it.
chose violence. So I actually it's funny. Hey, I actually got to I got to shoot your guns. I got to yeah, you there was enough trust. We hung out and I got to shoot some of I shot a rifle for the first time. I never shot a rifle before hanging out with you, and anytime I violated the rules of gun safety, you were on my ass. You're like, fuck, you fucker. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Do it again. He was having me do drills. He was having me do drills, and I was like, yes sir. Or what do they say in the Marines? Is it yes sir or sir yes sir? It's sir yes sir, right? Is that what they say in the Marines?
I think 3 bags full, sir. I think that's
3 bags full. Yeah. So I don't know. If I was,
I
yeah,
want to
but
promote.
and I said Semper Fi once, and he's like, bro, you don't say Semper Fi. That's what Marines say to each other. You're not a fucking Marine. I'm like,
this
sorry.
didn't happen.
Well, no. What I think I said, and you got very quiet. You're like, you're not supposed to say. You're not supposed to say that. You don't fucking say that. You're not a Marine. You're a civilian. Know your freaking place. No, I'm kidding. But yeah.
Well,
Slapped him in the
with
face.
Hey, he
here-
did. He smacked. Yes, yeah.
with me here, Brian, I can say, screw the Marines and their fake Latin.
Semper Fi, bitches. Oh wait, I said it.
I mean,
I said it. I
fake
ruined.
Latin?
I embarrassed Pips. Sorry, man.
Is it fake Latin or just improper Latin? Because improper language is kind of the Marines' thing. I mean, like eating crayons and barely forming intelligible sentences. Like,
Where did that come from?
We
The
can
whole
discuss
crayon
the finer
thing.
points of it after we let Brian go to sleep.
Where did the crayon thing come from? I've heard that before.
they're tasty. Leave us alone.
Okay, all right, there. Okay, I figured. All right, Gaffly, what about you? What's going on with you? Got anything? How's the writing? How's the writing going? I know I asked this last week when I had
How's
my
your
members.
fight against the college?
Yeah.
The writing's going pretty well. I'm doing every time I'm able to pop into the office, I'm able to get about a chapter done of some work or other, and I'm making progress in my Lamentation for Hector poem, which is kind of nice. So yeah, some good progress.
So do you write your poems in rhyme, or do they rhyme? Is there like a
I want to
number
know
of
if they're in
syllables?
English. In my
Yeah.
mind, they're in like
Good
old
question.
Greek.
Well,
Why would they?
that's
Why
the
would they
plan.
be in Greek, Pips? They'd be in English. Be in English. Jeez.
Well, I mean, Hector being one of the Trojan heroes of the Iliad. The plan is I'm writing it out in English first,
See,
just to get the general scheme. But in order to determine specifically my translation into Greek.
oh, I see.
But I once read a short story where a language teacher was saying that you got to write the story into the language, because if you don't write into the language, you don't think in the language, you don't feel in the language. It's some bullshit like that. I don't know. It's a school story. You know, they made me read it.
I think you need to translate first into hexadecimal and then from hexadecimal to Greek, and that's the way that you get the truest essence.
That makes sense to my boy over there.
Hexadecimal. What were we? Were we talking about reboot now? That's where I first heard. That's where I first heard that word when I was a kid. So
Reboot was a great show as a kid.
yeah, it's still on. They have it on. It's on Shout Factory YouTube channel. I mean, they're still showing. They stream episodes every day. I still love I still love that '90s mainframe entertainment aesthetic, but that's just me. So, hexadecimal pips, jeez. So,
How
but
dare
DJ Ronnie G, you know, I know you do a lot of streams. Have you done any video content that you want to promote? Like, have
I
you?
just want to say that dot matrix is hotter than hexadecimal. But getting back on topic, I always talk about having crap in the pipeline. Haven't really done any good video content, but I did like a couple of lazy video driving game crash physics game video game play recordings today that I don't need to edit at all.
Nice.
So I'll have like 1 or 2 items going into a playlist like tonight, and I'll just they'll come up in the feed if you are subscribed or something. But I've been doing a Monday show on Monday at 10:45 p.m. and most of the time it's just me, but on occasion I'll take the following day off from work so that I can have guests on. So just kind of having fun.
So when's your next stream?
Next Monday
Oh, next Monday. Okay.
at 10:45 p.m. So last week I was doing I was gonna show our local stellar neighborhood or our corner of the galaxy, like within 20 to 40 light years of Seoul. But
Yeah.
I promised that when Real Wade Gaming Nation could hop on, he could hop on. So I was happy to have him on. We went through the solar system instead. So next week I'm gonna do the surrounding stars.
Oh, okay. Aren't there like I know they removed Pluto. Obviously, they removed Pluto from the solar
I was just
system.
gonna say,
So but then they added like a whole bunch of didn't they add like a whole bunch of planetoids?
So you got at least three dwarf planets that I care about. Right? You got Humea, which looks like a dinosaur egg, looks like a Godzilla egg. You got Maki Maki, and they're like at a really weird angle or whatever, like above the solar system, so to speak, and they're like on the ellipse is like way off the plane of the ecliptic, because everything from Mercury to Neptune is on the same plane of the ecliptic.
Yeah.
And then Pluto is on an angle. Also in the asteroid belt, you have Ceres. So Ceres from the Expanse is actually a dwarf planet. That's if you're looking at like a
I thought that was the moon. Ceres is not a moon.
It looks like the moon, but it is a dwarf planet.
It's in the asteroid field, if I remember correctly. It's
Yes.
yeah.
And so when you see its orbit on like a solar system chart now, you could essentially use that orbit as like a rough estimate of where the asteroid belt is. But yeah, you got Maki Maki, Humea, Ceres, you got Pluto, of course, and you got Eris. And then beyond that, you have an asteroid called Sedna. And while Pluto's on a 240-year orbit, Eris is on a 600-year orbit, and Sedna is like 900 kilometers in diameter, so it's practically a dwarf planet, even though they treat it like an asteroid. Has a 12,000-year orbit. So that's some of the stuff that when I'm doing a stream or a video about where I'm using Space Engine, if that's some of the stuff that I kind of fixate on a bit.
Hearing you talk about this makes me want to resume my 2001 video. Maybe I'll do that.
I'll be looking forward to that.
I hate you,
Yeah, you
DJ
need to
Raji.
have-
I hate
you
you.
need to have
I hate you for being inspirational.
you need more reasons for Nathan to get mad at you.
Why would Nathan get mad?
Doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, the plan is, the plan is, I'm going to say this video. I'm going to say this video is not for everyone, and then I'm going to cut to Nathan saying this movie fucking sucks or something like that. F word,
I'm just over
colorful
here
metaphors
doing-
and all.
I'm just over here doing, callbacks to your catalog's deep cuts, and you're just like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I mean, goodness.
Yeah, this is why I worry whenever I have Pips on, because he's gonna remember shit that I don't, and then I'm gonna look the fool, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I told you," and you'd be like, and he'll be absolutely right, and I'll be absolutely wrong. So
Yeah, we're gonna be sitting there, and I'm just gonna drop, references to TNG that you should have made. I mean, just spitballing ideas, not anything specific.
Temba, his
just-
arms open.
Yeah. And just,
Pips
just-
and
just
Jalad at
random thoughts.
Tanagra or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I'll just
Well,
start.
I have to say, I'm excited about this poem. I didn't know that you were writing a. I'm assuming a epic. You know, what percentage would you say you're complete?
Of which thing?
So your poem.
For
Your-
your,
your-
poem
your
or the
poem
poem?
about Hector.
Yeah.
The poem about Hector. Well, it's a lamentation. So I'm probably about 50% done covering the basics of what I want to cover, but I'm probably about 25% done covering everything I want to cover. So
And do you anticipate having a 7th grade reading level version for me to read? Maybe
No.
pop-ups? Will you have
No.
pop-ups?
I anticipate having it be what it is and tell 7th graders to suck it up and read it anyway.
Gosh,
if it's 7th
Brussels
grade for
sprouts.
Pips, then it must be like 3rd grade for me then.
Can you do a scratch and sniff version?
I could try.
Think about,
but
like how much you could put smells. You could have the smell of like pig fat, from the candles, or you could have like the smell of people who haven't showered on a galley for like 6 months. I mean, this could be really, really interactive.
well, considering it's
Fully
about
immersive experience.
the lamentations of the death of Hector, it's gonna smell a lot like blood and guts, like nothing else.
So sort of like an NC-17 scratch and sniff.
Probably.
NC7, NC-17.
Good
But
time.
I suspect if it gets published, it will tick off a certain category of internet classicist types, because I really dig into Achilles being the absolute despicable piece of garbage that he is.
It reminds me because of our coverage of Wheel of Time season 2 and the reuse of props. I kind of want to watch Troy again. Don't you guys want to watch Troy again? I want to watch Troy again, and I want to watch, because of the new trailer, I want to watch Gladiator again. I haven't watched Gladiator since I don't think I've seen it since I was in high school. It's early 2000s. So yeah, guys, definitely want to watch that. So. It was awesome having you guys on. I need to eat some. I'm probably gonna need to eat something now because even though I had some Mexican food earlier. Am I mad at you? Well, Pips, you completely mob me, and you're the one in charge of the stream now. So you know what? I'll let you have the final word. But before that, I just want to say thanks for being here, everybody. Chillporial. I mean, I haven't really done a whole lot because I haven't been able to make any arrangements with anybody. So I mean, stay tuned for that. I mean, I want to do something with Pops eventually. Maybe Salty or something. I haven't been able to think of who to do a Chillporial with next. So and then the videos, I've just been really lazy myself, so I haven't done much. But Pips, I'll let you have the final word. You can have the final word. Hey, you're practically running the stream,
This is when you say stay nerdporial.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, thank you. See, Gadfly, he's smart. He knows things.
Yes, he does.
Listen to him.
Yes.
Stay Nerdporial. I would say join the Nerdporial Continuum, but this is a member stream, so all of you guys already know.
Yeah, I mean, I have to do more to kind of. I need to drive some value. So I want to do more. I do want to make more video. I do need to make more video content. So, I'll think of some ideas. I do eventually want to do a book review of this because I did an Eye of the World book review. I want to do a Great Hunt book review. So I really did enjoy this one. Really liked this one a lot. I really enjoyed. If you haven't checked out our, didn't we do book club? Pips, weren't you on all those streams back during the Age of Legends? You know, the Nerporial Age of Legends and
I
stuff.
don't know. That doesn't look like anything to me.
Was that a Westworld reference? What the hell are you talking about? Are you an android now? Don't answer
Yeah, I
that.
told you, I'm an algorithm masquerading as a person masquerading as a horse.
Hey, look who's here. Look who's
I
here.
know.
LPK's
I'm
here.
I'm a dude playing a dude who's disguised as another dude.
There you go. So, all right, but yeah, awesome. LPK's here. We'll probably do another stream, another member stream in a month. So, I do definitely want to keep. I mean, I appreciate you guys for being for sticking around and all that, and I want to keep. I just want to, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. So, yeah, and yes, I love you guys in a gay way. Yeah, absolutely. So when people say not gay, I'm just like, shut up. Just shut up. You know you mean it. You know you mean it. So, all right. But everybody, take care. Have a good night. Stay safe. And what was it? Stay Nerporial? Pips, you can say the last word.
Stay nerporial.
Fuck yeah. Fucking A. Later. Night, everybody.